Hey, before we go anywhere today, I want to ask you something. Not a trick question, not a riddle, just a real question. When was the last time you felt genuinely light? Not happy. I'm not even talking about happy. I mean that specific feeling where your chest isn't tight, your shoulders aren't bracing for something, and your mind isn't quietly replaying a conversation from 3 years ago. Can you remember it? For a lot of us, that feeling is a distant memory. And here's what's strange. The thing weighing us down isn't our work. It isn't our responsibilities. It isn't even our future. It's everything behind us. See, there's this thing I call inward gravity, and chances are you know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've never had a name for it. It's not physical. You can't see it on an X-ray, but you feel it. That quiet pressure, somewhere between your chest and your gut, made up of old decisions you wish you'd made differently. Words you said, words you didn't say, the version of yourself from 5, 10, 15 years ago who made a choice, and somehow you're still paying for it today. And here's the part that gets me every time. We call this learning from our mistakes. We tell ourselves, I'm just being responsible. I'm making sure I never do that again. But be honest with yourself for a second. Is it learning, or is it just dragging? Because there's a difference between looking back to gain wisdom and looking back so often that you forget you were supposed to be moving forward at all. Let me tell you about a traveler, and I think you might recognize him. He stood at the base of a mountain with nothing in his hands but a shovel. Not to dig his path forward, no. He used it to collect his mistakes. Every stumble, every wrong turn, every moment he felt ashamed, he'd scoop it up and throw it over his shoulder. And every few steps, he'd look back at his shadow. He was convinced that shadow held the full weight of everything he'd ever done wrong. So he watched it, studied it, argued with it. And at one point, I want you to really picture this, he actually swung his shovel at his own shadow. It didn't bleed, it didn't shrink, it just got bigger. Because that's what shadows do when you fight them, they grow. The harder you wrestle with the darkness behind you, the more of your energy it consumes. Until one day you're sitting on the side of a mountain you never actually climbed, completely exhausted, wondering what happened. The shadow didn't defeat him. His obsession with it did. That's when the old ferryman appeared. He didn't lecture. He didn't hand out a list of steps. He just watched the traveler for a moment and then asked quietly, "Why do you keep walking with your back to the sun?" And the traveler said, "I'm fighting my past. My shadow is too heavy. I have to carry it until I can beat it." The old man smiled, not unkindly, and said, "The weight of a shadow depends on only two things, how far you are from the light and whether you're willing to turn around. Face the sun and the shadow ceases to be." Simple, right? Almost too simple. But sometimes the most profound truths feel that way. Not complicated, just forgotten. The traveler didn't fight, he didn't dig, he didn't strategize, he just turned around, stood up straight, opened his hands, and the weight, that invisible, bone-deep pressure that had been compressing his spine for years, just lifted. Not because his past disappeared. His mistakes were still real. His history was still his. But he stopped becoming them. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Close your eyes for just a second. Think about what's been heavy, the old angers, the what-ifs, the version of yourself you've been quietly ashamed of for longer than you'd like to admit. You don't have to fight it. You don't have to solve it today. You just have to turn toward the light. Because the shore you've been searching for, it was never behind you. It's right there.